After high school, Layne was unsure when he graduated what he wanted to do. He worked for a man that had a chicken farm, converting the chicken coops into hog barns. Afterwards, Layne went to Milford to go to school for architecture and building construction. During school, he worked for a contractor doing residential remodeling and light commercial by the name of Janeski Construction. After graduating at the age of 21, he started Layne Gebers Design and Construction. Work was scarce, but a hailstorm hit which created some work. That work, by word of mouth, created more work, which created more work. Can you see how word of mouth, referrals, and a little help from God can get you going? Banks were failing, interest rates were climbing over 20%, and no one could get a loan. No construction work was going on. Layne somehow landed a big job remodeling a hair salon in Iowa. Unfortunately, there were a lot of change orders, and with no paperwork signed, when the job was nearly done, the owner let him know that he was within 7 years of bankruptcy and had no money to pay him. Can you see how change orders are really important? Layne and Judy had to go to family to co-sign a large loan to pay their employees and vendors, even though Layne didn't get paid until he finished the job, 100%, because he said he would, refusing to compromise on his values of quality, work, and great service. With all this, Judy was pregnant with their first baby, Nikki. Looking for a steady income and to pay off the loan, Layne met a guy who convinced him to move to California. Layne was even given a job when he got there to recruit more employees, and even John, the shop manager, came with. Building track homes 6 to 7 days a week, renting a house in California, 2-year-old now at home, still working out of debt. They had Dustin. One vehicle shared between Layne and Judy. Judy once a week would borrow a vehicle from a friend down the street to get groceries. During that time, they woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of people stealing everything, including all of Layne's tools out of his truck parked outside, not being able to afford a cell phone to call the police. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Layne worked as a lead carpenter and needed money, so he wanted to take a job in sales, but the company wouldn't give him any leads. So Layne decided to follow up on all unsold proposals, chasing old leads, and within 4 months had doubled the amount of work this company would do for the entire year. California was starting to become a scary place for kids to grow up, so they moved back on a job promise to Nebraska. But when they got there, there was no job. Looking for work, Layne knocked on the door of a head remodeling council, and he was hired to do sales and production overview. Layne would work 6 days a week, selling, and on Mondays would work as a rehash manager, going to projects that were incomplete to finish punch work. Layne never left a project without asking for a referral. Proud of his work, refusing to compromise on his values, quality of work, and great service. Out of over 400 salespeople in the United States for an American remodeling company, Layne was second in sales. But to move up, you had to become a sales manager, and that means moving away again. Layne and Judy discussed it, and for the first time, working together, they decided that they would start out on their own again, starting High Plains Building Company in Ceresco, Nebraska, where their third child was born, Janessa. Things were looking up, and as they gutted and remodeled their home, building an office and a laundry room for Judy to work, they eventually moved to the office downtown Ceresco. This wasn't to say that they didn't have their problems along the way. The work van caught fire, twice. The second time it burnt to the ground in the driveway next to the shed. Our business really took off from there. Word of mouth, not compromising on values, and taking care of one customer at a time. We signed on as an exclusive contractor for Delgen Incorporated, a company that did mostly DoD work, and all the while still growing High Plains Building Company doing residential and commercial construction. Layne and Judy decided to take a chance and move to Clarksville, Tennessee, invest in a new startup company called Tennessee Precast Systems. It was a huge leap of faith, and they had to sell everything, invest it all, and move 3 kids down south where they had no family or support. When Layne got to Tennessee Precast Systems, he found that they were extremely disorganized and disconnected with their customers and employees. The lack of integrity, honesty, and poor quality was getting to Layne, and being only one of 14 other owners, he didn't feel like he could get it turned around. So they left everything on the table, their entire investment and savings, and they decided to start over once more. So they started Apple Hollow Construction, picking up a contract that Delgen Incorporated couldn't finish. This church was the start of a huge referral source for them, and by not compromising on values, quality of work, and great service, we started building our name here in Clarksville. In 2001, Layne went to the International Builders Show in Atlanta, looking for a solution to fix nasty crawl spaces, where he met a man by the name of Larry Janeski. Larry Janeski invited Layne to Seymour, and in 2002, we became a dealer for basement systems. And the rest, as they say, is history. Two things in this story have never changed. One, our mission has always been to provide the best permanent solutions through wow customer service with every customer every time. And two, hard work, unfailing love, an unwillingness to give up no matter how tough times get, and a little help from God, all things are possible.